Okay, we got a little light. We have light. Yes. Okay. Let me see if I can get some folk in here. How do I share this? Okay, cool. Let's do it. Do. Y'all give me 1 second. Let me just let Twitter know that I'm here in case anybody wants to watch Sunday Hoodoo service live. Mm, Okay. Okay. All right. Um, okay. Hey y'all. I'm back again looking a fool. Um, where are we today? What are we doing today? I don't like this right here. What are we doing today? Today we are discussing the importance of protection, the importance of protection work, the importance of a protection mindset. There's so many ways that this protection work can emanate from you. This type of prayer work can emanate from you through your train of thought, through your actions, through actual root work or conjure, or whether that just be good old fashioned prayer. Protection is so vital to our spiritual growth and our spiritual evolution. And when I say that, when I say that God is not listening if you're not doing your protection work, that's just that's just one of my baiting headlines, one of my headlines to bait you into coming and hearing this message. Um, I don't mean that God is not actually listening. God is always listening. God is always there. However, if you do not believe that you have the right and you have the purpose and you have the permission from God to question God, but not only to question God, when you question God and when you challenge God and when you seek God with good intention and purpose and drive and passion, this is also a form of protection, and it'll emanate and it resonates on different levels throughout your life. It gives you the ability to have the confidence in yourself to when you come and face with danger, when you come and face with the things that you want to protect yourself from, you will know to always trust yourself and have confidence in yourself, right? When you trust yourself and you have confidence in yourself, you have the ability to not let energies, other places, other people, and other things to walk over you. This is a vital part of evolutionary growth. And that's who God is. I always say that God is a consensual God. God is a God of consent. That means that everything that you do, God wants you to do it with intention. He wants you to pave these roads in good intention. He wants you to move with purpose and intent in who you are. And one of the very first things and one of the main ways to do that is to be sure that whatever you are doing, you're doing it with such good intent that you never forget who you are. You never forget your value in yourself. You never forget your confidence. Okay, let me give y'all an example. So, this has been my lesson over the past like 2 or 3 weeks. And I had a house guest who, um, I invite them into my home, and I share my house with them. um, we became so familiar with one another. um, I began to really know this person. We both, this bond in this relationship, inevitable because we're living together, right? um, my natural response to people for such a long time in my life, because of how I was raised and because of how I was conditioned, is incredibly passive. Okay. And so um, a lot of the times my autistic traits will really stand out. A lot of the times the traits in my character that are flawed will really stand out because I haven't really known or learned how to stand up for myself and have confidence in myself. And so a lot of the times when I have passive aggressiveness thrown at me, a lot of the times when I feel psychically people projecting things onto me. The psychic part of this is very important, um, because it's always never a physical threat. You know what I mean? But it can absolutely become a physical threat. It can absolutely start at a psychological projection and become a physical threat. But me pointing out that this is a psychological thing is so important, especially for my abilities that I have, the ability to to see what's to come. So a lot of the times, it doesn't matter who it is, whoever I'm having a grievance with, whether it be parents, acquaintances, friends, people, strangers that I'm just meeting off the street. If I feel threatened by them, um, usually I am not remembering to have a confidence in myself and to believe in myself and to remember my value. And what that looks like, it oftentimes looks like me just kind of allowing these people to behave and say and think and do what they want to do without me saying, pause. First of all, this is what's not going to happen, right? So I've invited this person into my home and I'm sharing my home with them. And this is something that my mother is, I'm a lot like my grandmother in this aspect of letting people just come in and outside of her home. And my mother pointed this out to me, and my mother, her protection work, I would say that my mother's spiritual evolution path is that she is naturally incredibly protective. So her work is coming from this side of herself who is naturally very protective and having to find the power and the ability to connect with people emotionally. And I'm the complete opposite. I really connect with people emotionally and I really open up myself all the time. And what I need to do is I need to find the power to learn how to protect myself, right? So again, I'm getting to know this person, and I start to realize that this person is incredibly transphobic. Okay. Um, and this is another trans person, right? However, a lot of her beliefs and a lot of what she has to offer, the energy that she has to give, the things that she has to say, it's transphobic. But what I had been doing is giving her the benefit of the doubt. I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt. Blame it on my Pisces nature, right? Okay, so all the things say that Pisces are the Christ sign, and what we want to do essentially, what we feel our purpose is in life, essentially, is giving people the benefit of the doubt. We want to see the best in people, and we try and work and we try to pull the best out of people. So when people throw grievances at us, when people throw bad energy and negativity at us, we often, we become upset, but we get upset because we just want people to live and move peacefully. I want to feel intimacy, not intimacy, but I want to feel positivity. And I feel like when I walk into a room, I always emanate positivity. That's always like my purpose and what I expect myself to do when I walk into a room of new people, when I walk into a new environment. I'm like, I'm coming in here with positivity and I expect positivity back, But the reality of that is like, right? You can't expect people to treat you the way that you treat other people, right? And that doesn't matter what your disposition is. It doesn't matter if you're naturally a protective and like defensive person. It doesn't matter if you're naturally like someone who is open up and just wants to, love, love, love everybody. It doesn't. You have to know defensive work. You have to know your protection work. You have to know a balance. You need a balance of the emotional and you need a balance of the defensive. Okay. So I'm learning more about this person and I'm learning basically what's happening, and I didn't know that this is what's happening, is I'm learning that this person is very insecure. And that's not to say that I don't have any insecurities of my own, but I'm learning that people like this person, also people like my mother, who are naturally protective, they already have that ability of defense. They already have that ability to wield that left hand work naturally, right? I'm learning that this is who she is, and her insecurity and her flaw is that she's unable to open up emotionally, right? And express herself emotionally and express her true feelings. But when I'm faced with these type of people, I am not I don't usually see that at first. What I just see is an incredibly strong person. And that is very well true. These are incredibly strong people. And we have the opportunity to learn from incredibly strong people like this if we are naturally sensitive, right? But the fact of the matter is, still, we all need balance. It's a pull and it's a push. And we all should be learning from each other. We all need this balance. So naturally, I have been easy to fawn at these type of people, and while they're being their protective self, their hard shells self, and they're trying to hammer all these teachings and instill all these teachings and beliefs in me about being more strong, I'm failing to realize that they're failing to be emotionally vulnerable. And a lot of times that comes out as insecurity. And so a lot of times these are not even teachings, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, this person is teaching me something. This person has something great to say. This person is being the way that they are. They're being incredibly transphobic, even though they're a trans person themselves. I'm like, they're saying all these things about people. Let me get specific. We had an instance where, you know, this person just believes that, like, I don't know. Her thing is she wants all trans women uh, to be taking hormone replacement therapy. One of her most favorite slogans of mine, one of her most favorite teachings of mine is she would often say things like, in regard to trans women, sucking dick alone does not make you a trans woman. Okay, so like, boom, there you go. Like, I can't even recollect the severity of transphobia and the severity of the problem and the issue and the insecurities of this person. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll say it again. I'll always say it. I think I'm always going to have this nature about me. I'm always going to want to see the best in people. Absolutely. Okay. And I believe that on some level, I understand what they're saying, but the delivery is completely out of hand. Um, and so my thing with these type of people is I had been telling myself, I had convinced myself that I had evolved spiritually because I say, okay, I'm just going to pray for this person. And there's something that I can learn from this person, but I'm just going to pray for them and I'm going to wish them well and I'm going to wish the situation well. And I'm going to continue to be here for this person. Even though I don't feel a lot of emotional reciprocity from this person, I believe that the best thing for me to do is continue to open myself up, open my home up to this person, right? Wrong, wrong, wrong. Okay? Here is the issue with this. If you, if a person like me, with my ability and my path, if I truly know who I am and I truly know my value and I truly know what I'm capable of and I truly know and believe in and know how to use the supernatural provision that God has put in my life, then I know that being that passive, that's not that's not what God has set out for me. That's not what God has set out for me. God has set out for me to learn how to choose me in my life, to learn how to put in protective work in my life. I My spiritual evolution is learning how to exert a protective energy out of my life. And I have to understand that. And I have to be confident in that. And I have to know not to be afraid of that. Because the first thing that a lot of people will say, and actually, when everything broke, when everything finally when everything finally snapped because of the fact of I'm not using my protective energy to protect myself and everything went awry, despite my best efforts. In those moments, oh, such a revelation. Like, Spirit was right there with me. Like, Spirit is right there with me. Like, look at this shit. Look at this shit go down. Look at what you allow. Look at the shit that you allow. Right? Um, and the thing is, I run a bed and breakfast, a bed and breakfast slash shelter from my home, free shelter, free bed and breakfast experience where I invite other Black trans women who are facing housing insecurity. Like myself, I also face housing insecurity before I found this home. Um, so that's the type of environment that's going on here at Cohotel. And so, but um, with this person, what I realize is that this person actually, doesn't really have anywhere to go. They actually don't have anywhere to go, despite what they project to me. Despite all the friends that they project to me, the truth and the reality is that I'm really glad that I met this person because I don't think if they met me that they would actually have a friend to go to. I've been that friend, okay? Those are not emotions, those are not me bragging. These are hard facts. This is the protection work, okay? Listen to me. This is not me bragging. These are the hard facts. This is the protection work. This is me knowing my value. This is me knowing who I am, right? And so basically, this is the manipulation that these type of, hard, stern, stable rock people put out. They really show up as these rocks and they really show up as stern, but they're not being emotionally vulnerable. And so the reality is that for a long time I didn't really understand that this person has nowhere to go because they've been projecting their celebrity and their notoriety and their popularity on me since I've known them, all things that are incredibly fake and not true. It's just not true. If you had all these friends and you had all these families, and this is not being mean, these are true hard facts. If you had all these friends and family, you would have someone to go to where you can lay your head. This is the protective work. And the thing about the protective work is I feel so bad to admit these things. I feel really bad to admit these things. And this is the manipulation. When everything broke down and this person really couldn't take the situation in themselves anymore, their whole thing and their whole accusation was that I'm employing power dynamics. There's a lot of fucking truth to that. There's a lot of fucking truth to that. And I had to recognize that truth because I felt bad. And that's what I do as an emotionally vulnerable person. I feel bad. They had me actually feeling bad about my power. They actually had me feeling bad, feeling guilty about my power. The fact that I have had the ability to create this environment, not only for myself, but for them to live in. They had me feeling bad for having that power. Because I had other house guests in the home, and all year it had just been me and this person in the house. So when it was time for me to invite other artists to share this space with us, and this person started seeing me mingle with other people and love with other people, the insecurities leapt out. When it came time for me to start loving on other people the same way I was caring and loving on this person, was it a problem? So the insecurities, they started to jump out even more than they had been jumping out, right? And while this person is grieving the fact that I have love to give to other people, and also grieving the fact that they are incredibly insecure, because the truth of the situation is it's me and two other trans people who are not taking hormone replacement therapy, and the person who I've had these grievances with, who I'm having these grievances with, and this argument and this problem with, they are on HRT, and so it started to seep out of them as I'm giving love to these other people. The whole thing is, and they don't even look like a girl. They don't even look like a woman. You're a boy, and this person is significantly older than the other people that I'm giving care to, which had me most upset, had me really pissy. You're grown as hell, first of all, and you feel a type of way because you feel like I'm choosing these people over here now that I'm putting my care and I'm giving time to these people as well. Now you feel a type of way, and you're going to perform and act out like this because of it. And I was not recognizing the value that I've built. That's the truth of the matter. This was an opportunity for me to recognize the value that I have been building in my organizations. Okay. Spirit was telling me through the whole thing. Spirit had been telling me, You need to use your protection power. You need to be using your left hand power. You need to be enforcing boundaries. You're not enforcing boundaries, Deonté. This person comes and, for whatever period of time, comes and rests here like a pit stop and then leaves and is gone without notice for God knows how long. After they've said or done whatever to me to hurt my feelings, and because they're just such a manipulative person, they don't want me to allow me to manage and run my business and my home and my organization and my house. This is my house. I'm running it. I set the laws here. And quite honestly, being who I am, a lot of those laws don't really exist. It's really been a free for all. I really have been that really nice person, and just I want the girls to be comfortable. I want them to have a luxurious and comfortable experience. I want them to come in here and feel like they are in a hotel. I want them to feel elevated. I want them to feel luxuriated. I tell them when they come, there's no obligation for you to clean here. I do all of the cleaning. I don't want you to clean here. I want you to come here because I know what it is to be a Black trans woman faced with housing insecurity. I know what it is to be a Black trans woman, period. And not having society show up for you, because we have to create these inheritance for ourselves. We have to create these spaces for ourselves. We have to create these environments for. I know what that's like. So I'm starting to create those spaces of luxury and comfort for Black trans women, because nobody else is going to be able to provide that. No one else has been willing to provide that. The shelter experience in this city for Black trans women is hell. So I'm going to create a home that is more conducive to what I think is appropriate for Black trans women facing housing insecurity. And so while I invite this person into that, basically they've come in with the mindset of, oh no, you're doing this wrong and you're doing this wrong and you should do this and you should do this. And my ass is just like, yeah, tell me, fuck you. Wrong. That's not how you live life. And that's such a metaphor for your whole experience. That's such a metaphor for your entire spiritual path. You don't let people into your energetic field, no matter what you're doing. This is just a general rule of thumb for life. You don't let people meet you and come into your life and start controlling the things that you have authority over. You have an authority. You have an inner superiority. You have an inner sovereignty. You're supposed to be setting the laws and the principles and the values for your life, nobody else. Especially in a situation like me. No one should come into this home and be, oh, you're not doing this right. Oh, you're not doing that right. You should do this like this. You should do that. No. Shut the fuck up and sit down and have a drink. You didn't come here to be the administration. You came here to relax. Sit the fuck down and sit the fuck back. Period. So that had been the dynamic the whole time. And so again, this person, they come back anytime they want. And, after saying and doing whatever, I won't get into the details of each of those instances, but every time they would just come back and just, ease right in. And, and here's also the problem. Every time they come back, they just ease right in. And the issue with me being so passive is I'm not communicating. There's no active and direct communication for me. There's no setting of boundaries. So this person comes back each time and I'm just like, okay, they're back again. I'm opening my home up to them again because I know that they need somewhere to be. I know they need somewhere to rest that body, that mind, and that soul. Let me just let them rest here. And we can talk about specifics and details later. How long are you staying here? Da 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 da, blah 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 blah. I'm always like every single time they come back, and with everyone, this is what I do with everyone. Every single time they come back, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna give it a few days and let the thing settle and let them get comfortable, and then we can talk about it. But no, from the jump with these type of people, from the very first time I met her, this is what you have to understand about these type of people. From the very first time I met her, there was manipulation. There is an initial point of manipulation, and it's just one continuous lie and a feed of lies and manipulations and narrative that they're telling, that basically it just is so effective, and the intelligence of it is so incredibly effective, the way that it works and the way that it branches out from this one initial lie, how you can control and navigate that power to move into any situation. It's like a production, it's like a story. It's like they're always acting. And do not get me wrong, I have this too. I use this too in a different way. I use this sort of manipulation too in a different way. This is the branding, this is the marketing of any situation. Any energy, any person, place, or thing has the ability to have a spirit, right? To have a life, to have this marketing, to have this branding, to have this narrative, to have this story. But sometimes, and especially when you have these very stern, stable, mm, very fierce people, sometimes that narrative is incredibly manipulative in a very negative way, to where they are constantly feeding emotionally vulnerable people, people who have opened themselves up to be passive, right? I hope y'all are following me. There is this line of thinking that they're able to feed you, that she's been able to feed me, this narrative of, oh, I'm here to help you. I'm here to tell you what you should be doing and how you should be operating these things. And I'm accepting that the whole time, right? Wrong. You've been crossed. You've been crossed and you've been blocked. I hit the block button. No more. The gloves have come off. The white gloves have come off. My ability and my knee-jerk reaction to serve you, to give you a white glove service, the gloves have come off. That's no more the case. You no longer get that, because now I know that every time that you come in my vicinity, now I know that every time I feel your energy, I have learned in so many ways, in so many instances over time, that you need to be blocked. I need to be blocking that energy and understanding that I need to be taking a higher road and doing my thing and walking my path and remembering who I am and remembering my value, rather than allowing you to come in here and insert your opinions, rather than allowing you to come in here and drive my shit. So the whole time, it's this sort of manipulation where this person feels like, oh, I'm more wise, or oh, I'm older. When the reality of the situation is, I'm providing you with a home. So, who is who in this situation? Who's helping who in this situation? And don't get me wrong, I completely believe in community and a give and take and an exchange. That is what I'm always looking for. And that is something that I'm always going to believe in. I'm always going to believe in a community where everyone is on the same level. Absolutely. We're equal. Of course, we're equal. But I can't control you and you can't control me. We can work on the relationship, we can influence the relationship, But neither one of us should be manipulating or trying to control the other person. That's a character flaw. So this person eases their way back in, and I'm like, let's just take a few days to let everything settle, let them get comfortable. I'm going to let them get a break from whatever is going on in their life before I try and set some boundaries and start communicating. And it never gets there. It never gets there. And they know that it will never get there. They know intuitively the type of person I am, the type of person that I have been. They know it'll never get to boundary setting. And that's why they keep coming back and manipulating the situation. Oh, hey, I'm back. And yeah, I just want to chill with you, you know. And this is their thing. Oh, I just want to chill with you. I want to buy you some weed, and I want to buy you some food to thank you for what you do. And whole time they're buying the drugs for the house, and they're buying me food, and whole time they're like, this is my payment. I'm buying my way into this house. This is my rent. That's not what this is. This is not a situation. This is not a home where the guests buy me, the director and the manager, things to stay here. No, that's not what this is. I was taking that as this is a friend. I know that they need somewhere to stay, but also this is a friend. So yeah, I'll smoke with you. Yes, I'll smoke with you. Yes, oh, it's such a nice thing that you would go out and buy food for me, after you've done whatever you're doing, and you come back because you're ready to sleep. No, you're not buying your way in here. This person is, and I applaud this about this person. I absolutely applaud this thing about this person where they're like, they're going to take advantage of the system. And but that also hasn't been my ministry. My ministry is not to become a part of the nonprofit structure. My mission has not been to become a part of the institution. So why would you treat me like that? Why would you treat me as, you're coming in here and you're just going to exploit the system? Like, no, that's not what you're doing. You can't buy your way into my life. You can't buy your way into my home. I'm offering you something. Take advantage of it. I'm telling you that you don't have to do anything here. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to buy food. You don't have to clean. You don't have to do anything. I'm simply giving you a place to come and relax and meditate and rest. The whole time they think they're buying their way into my life and into the situation when the and and so they're feeding themselves this whole dynamic about me having uh false power dynamics or making false power plays, because I'm not even recognizing the fact that this person thinks that they're in my good graces, and they think that they're allowed and invited to be in my home because they're smoking me out and buying me chicken wings. Protective power. You have to employ your protective power, and you have to set boundaries. You have to have those hard conversations with people. Why are we here? What are we doing here? What is the purpose? My whole job was, when this person comes in the door, I only have so much to give. While I can offer up my home, and while I can create these spaces for myself and for other Black trans women, fact of the matter is, the only way that I can really do that and do that effectively is if I'm setting boundaries. And so the truth of the matter is, for the fall, I had announced to everyone, I'm taking a break. Learned a lot this year, had a great time. It's time for me to look back at everything that happened, introspect, recalculate, recalibrate, but I'm on a break. And this person who was supposed to have transitioned out into their own housing, but that wasn't the truth, that wasn't the case, they had to come back. And I still was not true to my boundaries and my limitations. I still was not true to who I am. I still was not believing in my values. I still was not believing in my confidence in myself. So when this person came back when they're not supposed to be here, I'm like, oh, yes, come on in. Wrong. Limitations, boundaries, they are so important. Your protective work is incredibly important. Setting your boundaries, using your left hand, and this goes in all parts and aspects of your life and everything from the smallest minute detail and degree to the biggest and obvious and most major things in your life. Set boundaries. So this person comes back at a time where co-hotel is supposed to be, the door is closed. But I'm like, oh yes, come back. And not only am I like, oh yes, come back. I'm not even setting any. You're just coming back. I'm not having any questions or conversations about how long are you going to be here? What do you actually need? Like no boundaries at all. Just letting her come in and control the whole thing. Oh yeah, it's not even a situation where it's like, how are you doing? How are you? Like it's nothing. It's just this person coming back and, oh, you want to smoke? There's not even a I need to stay here for a few days. Hey, you want to smoke? Where the fuck have you been? You've been gone for like 5 weeks off some BS. When you left here, you did some BS. You left because you were incredibly insecure about that BS and ashamed. You very well should be. Now you've walked your ass back here because you've got nowhere else to go. And you're just controlling the situation. Oh, this is now your house too. And all of those things are not her fault. All of those things are my fault. To allow her to believe that this is her house. I think that I've even said that to her. Welcome home. This is your home too now. Wrong. Set boundaries. And that goes for every degree and detail in your life. You can't just let anyone into your field, into your mental house, into your mental and emotional homes, and just claim it as theirs. That it don't work like that. The spiritual road and the spiritual path does not work like that. Let me show you some other ways that this is. And other ways that this has been resonating in my life is the fact of me just praying for people who have crossed me and me praying for people who have done me wrong. Now, don't get me wrong. A man, I will do that work on a man in a second. Because I don't fuck with them. I don't like them. So any grievance that a man gives me, immediately we get that work. Because you immediately need to know that I'm not the bitch to fuck with. So immediately I do that work. Immediately it's protection. Immediately it's crossing. Because I'll be damned if a man inflicts patriarchal violence on me in a space that where I'm supposed to be luxuriating and being comfortable, and it's my own home. I'll be damned. I absolutely will. We're doing that work immediately. But I never thought that I had to do that work for other women. That was like, that hurt me. That hurt my heart. I never want to do that. That's who I am. That's my problem actually. That's what I'm coming from. That's what I'm evolving from. Spirit letting me know, nah, babes. This is with anybody. Anybody can catch these hands. Anybody can catch these hands. Because anybody will try you. Anybody can get this work. That is the type of mentality that you have to have in your life. It's scary because it's ingrained in women that they're not supposed to use that protective word. It's ingrained in us that we're supposed to be nice and we're supposed to be polite and we're supposed to be open and we're supposed to let people walk all over us. That we're not supposed to say no. That's ingrained in us. That's instilled in us. Is what has been instilled in me as someone who has been socialized as fruity. Come on, fruity socialization. We as Black trans women grow up in environments. We grow up in communities where we're socialized as fruity. Get with this terminology. You better open up a notepad and write this word down. Socialization as fruity. A lot of people like to say, oh, I was socialized as a man. Oh, I was socialized as a... No, you were socialized as, excuse my language, you were socialized as a faggot. You were socialized as fruity. And as quiet as it is kept, the people who know this most, the people who are in tune to this most are cis women, they are cis men. Cis men know before anybody. Cis men know before any queer people, any queer person. They know the energy that they give to queer people. They know why they give it. They know those power dynamics. They know when to employ them. They know exactly what they are for. They saw the abuse that we got as we were all children. We all grew up in the same communities. So they know exactly in their adulthood how to treat queer people. They know exactly the power dynamics, and they will not hesitate to employ them. They will not hesitate to employ them. Like I said, men can get this work immediately. Immediately, you show me that you have no disrespect for me. Immediately, it's a fuck you situation. And I'm doing that work. Because there's no fucking way that I would allow a man to treat me like I'm a second class fucking citizen. No fucking way. Do that left hand work. And I'm gonna leave y'all. I'm gonna leave it with y'all at that. Let's pray, because I didn't pray. I always forget to pray when I do these things. So let me just release y'all with a good word, a good benediction. Close your eyes and bow your head with me. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for giving us the ability to pray and press in and to continue to seek you in this in this incredible time, in this renaissance and this shift of powers, and in this reimagining of what society and what the world can be, as you induct and as you coronate those who have for so long been wrong, as you elevate us and as you bring us into power. We just want to thank you and we praise you for the blessings that you continue to bestow upon us. for the knowledge and the wisdom that you continue to remind us of, and for continuing to show us and reflect us who we are and our true value. We thank you so much and we praise you. And in these things we ask in your son's name. Amen. Amen and Ashe. Amen and Ashe. I want to thank y'all. How long do we? This is an hour. That's a good, cute hour. Very beautiful. I thank y'all for coming and listening. Please click those links, share those links, my GoFundMe's, and also things like my Cash App. Y'all know that I do not have a steady form of income other than crowdfunding for my organization and for my creative work. So please, 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 if you are taking away, if you are learning from my words, you must sow good seeds of intention. This is the work. Listen to the work. Don't think that I'm bragging. Don't think that don't think that I'm scamming. Don't think that I'm just trying to get y'all money, because it's not even about money. Most of my ministry and my congregation, they don't even have money. But you still need to reciprocate, okay? Let's reciprocate the situation. If you're taking something from me, give me something back. If you don't have money to give, make sure that you're sharing my work. Make sure that you're sharing my links. Sow good seeds of intention. Don't be like the people that I just described and take. Manipulate, 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 manipulate. If you're taking something from my ministry, make sure that you're giving back to it. And I will always and continue to do the same for you, okay? I love you very much, Midsummer, and I will see y'all next week. Follow me on Twitter for Wednesday Bible study, possibly. I don't do it every week, but follow me on Twitter if you need Bible study on Wednesdays. Otherwise, I will see you next Sunday. Bye.